And good morning, world. It is about 8 a.m. in the morning. It is Sunday, the 7th of February 2016. Saturn is still squaring Neptune in the sky. Although Saturn is now moving forward still, not yet going retrograde, Neptune has begun to move forward again, and the distance between them is slowly catching up again. I know that heliocentrically the square has passed, but geocentrically, in the way that affects individuals and the collective on planet Earth, the square from Saturn to Neptune is going to be continuing until August, September of this year. So I want to have another look at this. There's two things I want to focus on. Whenever I've looked at the Saturn-Neptune square over this last year, one of the things I've commonly come up with is this idea of a flood. Whether it is a flood of empathy, a flood of compassion or sensitivity, a physical flood as in water or ice or snow or drought or whatever, and a flood of refugees. There's two ways of looking at the Saturn-Neptune square. One is in the thing around looking at Neptune in Pisces being squared by Saturn. Neptune is the planet that I associate most commonly with things to do with glandular disorder, with vagueness, confusion, uncertainty, with infection and disease. This is all on the negative side, I hasten to add, not the positive side. And Saturn squaring this does bring the potential for this much more strongly into focus. Enter this Zika virus, which is now spreading around the world. It is not new. It's been around for 30 years, 40, 50 years. I saw an interview the other day with an adult who's had the Zika virus all of his life. He's in his 20s or 30s. He seems to be coping very well with it. He's not educationally challenged. In fact, he's studying quite well. Nevertheless, this virus does seem to be spreading worldwide. It started in Brazil, as far as the publicity goes, a month or two ago. It's now in America, the Mediterranean, Asia, it's everywhere. It is not an end of the world disease, but it is something that's probably going to take a few months to work its way through, much as Ebola did, much as HIV did. There's too many of us for it to kill us all. But there's another way of looking at the Saturn-Neptune aspect as well, and that's by focusing on Saturn in Sagittarius. When Saturn moved into Sagittarius, first of all, about a year and a bit ago, I said about how this was going to cause a lot of re-examination and restructuring of our attitudes towards faith, belief and religion. And with Neptune squaring Saturn, it's going to bring a great deal of confusion around the understanding of different types of religion. This is being represented today. And I live in a country which is supposedly very tolerant and acceptant of other people's belief systems. So it's to my chagrin that I find that there are parts of Great Britain, the British Isles, that are becoming distinctly racist and Islamophobic. I refer to the Channel Islands, Jersey and Guernsey, which on the one hand have turned around and said, we're not going to take any refugees, we can't guarantee their safety, there are too many anti-Islamic people here and we are an Islamophobic island, which I find absolutely disgraceful. Not that I'm an Islamist. I have no time for any religion, let alone a religion that perpetuates subjugation of women and that preaches that all other religions are inferior. But nevertheless, freedom of choice, freedom of belief. So for one part of this country that I live in, to say, no, you can't come because we don't like your belief and religion is disgraceful, and I'm ashamed that Jersey and Guernsey are part of the British Isles. Even more so because they're bloody tax havens. You've got people there who are squirreling away tax, and the current government, who's allegedly going to be cracking down on tax havens, does nothing about this. There are people in these islands who have been avoiding tax, including, incidentally, a number of major newspaper owners who have a considerable influence over the current government, for a long, long time. I find the hypocrisy of the higher echelons of the country that I live in disgraceful. It seems like there is one rule for the elite and one rule for everybody else. And it doesn't matter whether it's about choosing who your neighbours are or choosing how much tax you pay. The hypocrisy of the upper class system in this country is still there. And all around the world, Britain is known as a class structure. And whilst we still perpetuate these amoral attitudes towards helping people less fortunate than ourselves, and these immoral attitudes towards who should pay tax and who shouldn't, this is going to continue. About time it got sorted out, in my opinion. There you go, there's my rant for today. Catch you tomorrow, folks. Bye.